Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. In this video I want to talk about a little bit about the general situation, also with regards to the DXY. It's as an absolute key level at the moment. Last Sunday in our member live stream we looked at these two and looked at a potential inverse correlation, and we looked at at the key level really the DXY is at the moment. So we're going to take a look at that. Before we start though, I was invited to the to an interview on the Allincrypto YouTube channel. So by all means, check it out. It's a 1 hour, more than 1 hour interview. We talk about Elliott Wave in general. We talk about the Bitcoin chart. We talk about Ethereum. We talk about gold, silver, the S&P 500, and the DXY. So it's maybe even more like a podcast. So feel free to check it out. Certainly interesting. I will link it in the video description. And feel free to check it out. Really interesting. And let's talk about Bitcoin. So daily chart obviously hasn't changed. A lot of people at the moment are looking at this head and shoulders pattern, which could develop here. Absolutely possible, also in line with the Elliott Wave count. I mean, the right shoulder is probably a B wave. I will assume that until the chart gives me clear 5 waves up, 3 waves down. Okay, that's what we want to see. Until we have that, I assume it's a B wave. And yeah, this head and shoulders pattern is obviously valid until the price breaks above basically 32K. We shouldn't forget that the 32K level is a key breakout point, and this is resistance here and here. So as soon as we get above 32K, I don't think there is much left in terms of resistance until we really get into this low 40K region. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Also from a Fibonacci extension point of view, this is a target range for the next rally, but only if we can break above the 32K level. And if we can see the right structure. Obviously there will be a setup for that before, ideally. I would like to see the 5 waves up, 3 waves down. As soon as we see them, this is a setup for a third wave rally. Yeah, very important. Now, Bitcoin is at a key level, the DXY as well. A lot of people focus on correlations. I don't like correlations that much. Not for finding an entry, not for finding an exit, but it's certainly interesting when we talk about generally the market overview, where we are at, and I have been talking about it on our second channel, More Trading Online, for a bit, that the DXY is at an absolute key level, and if it tops here, and it's sort of topping at the moment potentially, it can still move higher as long as it's holding above the ascending trend line there. But if we see a break below that ascending trend line, followed by a break below $104.50, I think it is, that previous swing low here from September, I think it can go down, and that's sort of the assumption. It should go down into the low $90 region. So we see the inverse correlation of the Bitcoin chart and the DXY. Yeah, you see it. We had a peak in July here on the Bitcoin chart. We sort of had a low in July on the DXY chart. It's also a very similar structure. Bitcoin forming here a flat structure. The DXY also forming a flat structure, just the other way around. So I'm just thinking, if this trend line breaks and the DXY, let's say, crashes down to sort of low $90 region, I mean, what is Bitcoin going to do? Okay, so the potential is definitely there that the price has already bottomed. Yeah, and that's exactly what I highlighted. If we see 5 waves up and 3 waves down, that's probably it. If the DXY forms the first 5 wave move down and 3 waves up, that's probably what we're going to see on the Bitcoin chart. Funny enough though, Bitcoin and the DXY have also been, I mean, you can see this rally here, yeah? In this rally since July, basically, the Bitcoin price has come down. Okay, DXY went up, Bitcoin down. Most recently, they have been positively correlated. Okay, now that's very interesting. You can see that when we talk about the correlation coefficient, they are still positively correlated right now. But as soon as that goes down into negative correlation and the DXY goes down, then they should move opposite ways. So that's quite funny, that's the, it's a double-edged sword, you say, with these correlations, because when you focus on correlations, you also need to focus on when the correlation is positive and when it's negative. And to be fair, it's now positive, and it has now been for a while. So it's going to be interesting. So it's not like it's not automated that you can say, okay, the DXY goes down, Bitcoin goes up. It's not like that, but it's an interesting observation that I want to share. Obviously, we want to do a bit of education and show the different markets as well, and so on. But it's a very much a double-edged sword. It's not that correlations always exist. Well, they do exist, but you need to know when the assets are positively and when they are negatively correlated. Example, since 2011, the DXY, between 2011 and 2021, the DXY has gone up. Bitcoin as well. So you have on the larger time frame definitely a positive correlation, but now obviously there are correlations, but the degree is different. But this is interesting because Bitcoin is pushing against the trend line there, and the DXY as well. So I will focus on that. I will continue to focus on that. It's just an interesting observation. Now going to the lower time frame on the Bitcoin chart, not much has happened. So again, it's just hovering below resistance. The bulls and the bears, they can't really decide. Very much in this whole range, we haven't really seen any side clearly winning. If the white wave count plays out to the upside, which it should do, if we see a break above resistance at 28,300, then this is at best a diagonal structure. And in diagonals, you see diagonals when one side is just not clearly winning. Just be aware of that. So as I said in the previous videos, if we see a break above that resistance and it's very clearly defined at 28,300, then I will focus on higher in a fifth wave towards 30K. Until then, the yellow wave count is definitely still a possibility. Obviously has become a little less likely, you could say, with that push against resistance, because Bitcoin is just hovering below resistance, but there is no clear breakout. So it's too early to confirm any one of them really. We have observed throughout the week bearish setups that worked out nicely, especially for Ether. Bitcoins worked out as well, but they weren't followed through. So they didn't get the follow through. And that's a signal to me that maybe the sentiment is shifting, or at least we are very much in a state where there is a clear balance of forces. So we just have to wait and let the market decide. More micro counting will not make this chart clearer. Yeah, that's everything I can say now. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Tomorrow we have our next member live stream, always educational, and we cover some member requests. Plus, they're on Discord and Telegram. There are the chat rooms, more educational content, and as a gold member, you get access to short-term market updates. We also launched our stocks and S&P 500 service this week. So if you're interested in anything else than crypto, anything stock related, the S&P 500 regular updates, then you will find the link for that one in the description as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.